Hi everyone who has joined. We have around 50 people and more joining. It's somewhat a pleasant evening in Delhi where I'm sitting, and I really hope it is much more pleasant where you guys are joining from. This webinar is about elevating your customer support and your customer experience with Freshdesk and MyOperator. We have the leadership teams, the leaders from both the companies with us today who will be talking about this particular topic, talking about the product, the integrated solution. We also have a demo that we'll present to you so that you can get, I'd say, a first-hand experience of what exactly Freshdesk and MyOperator have to offer to you and how they can help you elevate customer support as mentioned on this banner here. So, Ritesh, I think that answers your question, and we should ideally begin. It's already 6:04, so I won't take much of anybody's time talking about work from home and other things. So let's get started on this. My name is Sanat Srivastav. I'm the partner marketing manager at MyOperator and also your host for this webinar. I will just move forward and introduce the speakers for the day. So first of all, we have with us Rimjhim. She is the Chief Marketing Officer at MyOperator, and she has been a serial entrepreneur. She has authored a book. She sits on the board of organizations such as NASCOM Insights and Wiki. I mean, like if I start talking about Rimjhim and what she has done so far in her very long career, I think we will have a separate webinar talking about what all Rimjhim has achieved. So I'll leave it to her when she takes the stage. And then along with her on the stage, we have Suraj Singh. He is the lead solutions engineer at Freshdesk and Freshworks. Suraj comes with more than 10 years of experience spanning the CX suite of solutions, business, and cloud consulting. So, if I can put it in simpler words, anything you want to know about customer experience, clubbing it with cloud-based products, SaaS, I think Suraj will be the best person to answer any of your questions related to those. And of course, any questions related to Freshworks or Freshdesk. Uh, Moving forward, before we just hop on to the conversation, I'll just let you know that in this webinar, we will have a small poll starting right now. So, Dhruvi, can you please initiate the poll?
Sure,
There's
Sana.
a poll which we would like you all to answer, people in the audience, that have you used MyOperator or Freshdesk or both? So please go ahead and answer this one question for us, which will give us an idea about uh, what all experiences have you already had, and we can customize this webinar and the speakers can talk about their products and their offerings in a better manner. Apart from this, once we begin with the the core discussion, you can continue putting your questions in chat or the Q&A section, and we'll pick them up after the demo session. We'll have a Q&A session. So in that Q&A session, the speakers will pick up your question and answers. So please go ahead and ask whatever you need to ask, whatever you want to ask. Mid-session, put it in the Q&A box. We'll definitely pick it up towards the end of it. So yeah, without wasting more of your time and talking a lot, I will just give the stage to our speakers, starting with Rimjhim. First of all, Rimjhim, please tell us a bit about MyOperator for the people who are probably new to the solution. What does MyOperator do? Why are you guys talking about elevating customer support? Please talk about it.
All right. Thanks so much, Sanat. So, the topic for the webinar is very important, as in the customer support part of it. And I'll come to how the do our brands enable, but even taking out Freshworks or MyOperator out of the equation. And our customer support is basically the lifeline of our businesses, right? Without customer support, your customers do not exist, and without your customers, well, our businesses do not exist. So I think it's of course, Freshworks and MyOperator has come together. And what we have is a unified solution. So the Freshdesk is, of course, one of the most solid help desk management software out there. MyOperator is a cloud communications leader. As as some of the people who have used both or either of the solutions already know about this. What we have done is we have unified these two products together to make customer support simpler, both for your customer agents as well as, of course, definitely your customers, which is what is the most important thing at the end of the day. So just, Dhruvi, I'm taking over here. I'm sharing my screen to talk a little about the first part of the equation, which is MyOperator.
Sure, Rimjhim. The dais is all yours.
Thank you so much. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Rimjhim, it is.
So a little brief about MyOperator as India's cloud communications leader. When I talk about cloud communication, so every business, right, you have to talk, you have to communicate. You're talking with your partners, you're talking with your customers, you're talking with the employees, and you're talking in multiple ways, right? There's some communication that's happening face to face, but most of the communication is happening remotely. So your customers or parts or your stakeholders are on phone, on WhatsApp, on email, on various channels communicating with you. We facilitate a large part of those communications happening. So when you talk about cloud communication, it has various components, and of course got things like an IVR or a contact management system. Basically, your customer helpline, right? You've got all those helplines, and most of you are probably business owners or business managers. You run those customer helplines so that your customers can reach you anytime, anywhere. Those lines are managed by us, and of course the underlying software below it. And it's all on the cloud. So, the traditionally, if you look at, say, 20, 30 years back, before, cloud became vogue, you had hardware systems, you had hardware telephony systems, but of course those comes with their own challenges. There's cost challenge, there's a setup challenge, there's a lot of resource challenge. By putting all of this in the cloud, so just you just basically download, and that's the magic of SaaS, right? You log in online and you can enable your business lines and all the software manning it. Calls are one part of it, and we've also talked about what are our offerings. Cloud contact center, which is of course the omni-channel call plus WhatsApp channels that we talked about. WhatsApp and chatbots, because I think we have moved from a voice-only world to a world which is increasingly talking on text, on chat, on WhatsApp. So that's an important part of our solution. Office IVR, again, as for smaller businesses where you just need a very agile system to make those communications happen. And then, of course, there are various aspects of it. Then there's multi-store telephony, which is the retail part of the telephone. So multi-stores, for example, Lenskart or shops like Seneca, they have got multiple stores around the country, and then you need a unified communication system connecting them all together. So that's also something that we solve for them. And corporate line is a part of our enterprise mobility solution. So just in the this pre-webinar banter, we are talking about a work from home versus a work from office kind of a debate. When we come and face it, let's face it, it's a hybrid world. Whether or not you're working from home, you're working on the field, you're working at client sites. So your employees are probably kind of distributed across India, for some of us in like Freshforce, for example, is probably across the world. So our enterprise mobility solutions solves this in on-field challenges for you, giving a unified system where your field agents can talk to customers and still all keep it all synced up. We work across industries as just a snapshot of some of the industries and the customers we work with. And just very briefly about our product line approach. So we are mobile first. So we believe, and this has of course happened in the last 15 odd years since smartphone has literally taken over our lives. It's mobile first, it's omni-channel. So call, WhatsApp, SMS, and various other channels integrated together. And in this world of generative AI, can we escape AI? We cannot. So there's an AI layer which runs to our reporting, which runs to our transcripts, which makes customer service useful, simpler every day for you. And then that's it. And I'll not go more into MyOperator. We'll talk more about it in the context of how we are working with Freshworks to solve the customer service challenge for you.
All right, thanks, Rimjhim. I think you're very right that more than going into the depths of MyOperator, which anyways we will when Suraj goes ahead with the integrated product demo. It is about elevating the customer experience and solving those problems for the people who are here attending this webinar. Now, Suraj, please take the dais and talk more about Freshdesk and Freshworks and how you guys are solving the other part of this equation in terms of customer support.
Thanks, Sanath. Yeah, I'll just bring up my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, awesome. So I would say or talk about expectations as to what has changed from a business software side of things. So what we feel or when we talk to our customers is it's very easy to use consumable apps or I would say consumer apps like Flipkart, Amazon. Nobody actually comes and teaches you how the UI works. You just download and start scrolling and Nobody actually has to tutor you how to use that. That's the expectation even from business software that we are seeing. So we at Freshworks take that fresh approach to business software, where it is not only very fast and easy to use, but also it should be modern and enterprise grade, so that you will have all the necessary components in place for customer support that is needed. But also the software is not very complex, not only from a UI perspective, but also from implementation perspective or using it as an agent or an admin. So that is something that we do. What we normally see in the market is a lot of software that is really complex. Now, why did that happen? Or even customers when we meet. So there are multiple disparate channels which are built and clubbed with different systems, maybe an SAP for an example, or an inventory management system. So whenever digital channels come in, as Rimjhim was also talking, like WhatsApp or chatbots, or maybe Instagram, Facebook as a channel when for customer support came up, even in India. So those channels are again built on top of the existing complex systems that are in place with customers. So that whole experience for customers becomes very siloed. So customer support nowadays, what we see or what is needed is personalized. I would say hyper personalization is needed in customer support, and software that can help in that should be really powerful to use and cost effective. So we believe that business software from Freshworks should work for the customer as such. It should not be the other way around, that you are adjusting your processes of customer support while implementing a software and its features. But basically the software should be able to handle your end-to-end consumer or customer experience use cases. So I saw the poll that was there. So around 70% of the people have not heard about MyOperator or not used MyOperator and Freshworks. So I'll just give you a brief overview. So as a company, we started in 2010, and we are totally a SaaS-based organization built on AWS. So again, more than 60,000 customers across different domains, and a very dynamic number. And we were also listed last year on NASDAQ under the ticker of Fresh. Some of the logos across industries that we work with, but again, there are multiple other verticals also, such as public sector or education, that we work with. Coming to maybe the solution side of things, I'll just briefly talk about what we have from the solution side. So again, most important from the customer support side is Freshdesk, which again clubs with the Freshchat for bots or messaging. Apart from that, we have the marketeer and the sales for automated marketing campaigns and running end-to-end deals. And we have Freshservice for employee support, which is again as important as customer support. Now, briefly to discuss about Freshdesk, which is the offering for customer support. So what we notice is Gen Z really wants to get hyper-personalized support on the channel of their choice, and they don't want to wait. It is same with us also. So how can MyOperator and Freshworks see that long wait times are reduced, better support is provided to the customers when they reach out? So businesses actually, we have seen, as even if I just quote an example of maybe PwC, we see that customers need that speed, convenience, and self-service that is very important nowadays when we are dealing with customers in support environments. Mostly, even when we want to get support, we want to just read an article and see if something as easy as a password reset, or maybe if my money has not got transferred, if I'm using an UPI transaction app. Those details I do not wait for a longer time if I've called a number, or maybe we just read through and try to resolve it. So apart from that, another example I would give you is even one bad experience. So there was a customer I was talking with, and they said that one bad experience that a customer had, went ahead and posted something on social media. Really, the brand had to take a hit. So that's how important customer support is. You have to be on your toes 24/7. You cannot have selective hours for support as such. So that is where Freshdesk comes in. Major customer expectations, I've already spoken that across multi-channel, you need to have that flexibility provided to customers, that they reach out through the channel of their choice. And at the same time, we need to understand that why are there long wait times, or why there is a delay in response to a customer? Why are same questions asked again and again? So that is because maybe the agents are using multiple systems. They are not having everything on a single pane to support the customer instantly. And that's why maybe they put the call on hold, or maybe they tell us to wait for 24 hours and they may respond back to us with a ticket number. So that is where Freshworks can help to get that entire context from a support agent perspective, so that you have all details for support on a single pane and you are able to resolve queries faster. So I'll take a pause here. This is just a brief, Sanat, and maybe I'll deep dive further into the feature side of things.
For sure. I mean, like that's something that we'll definitely do when we move towards the demo of the integrated solution between MyOperator and Freshdesk. So before we move on forward and talk more about customer success, Dhruvi, can you please shoot the next poll that we have for our audience over here? We would just like to understand from the audience, like, what major challenges do you face in terms of customer service? Our panelists can definitely see this poll. So please go ahead and vote for it. Meanwhile, while people are voting, so Rimjhim, small question to you. See, in 2023, when we are talking about customer service, we are not just talking about one channel, right? There used to be a time where people used to email or call, or either of the two. Right? Then came in WhatsApp all of a sudden in the last, I'd say, 1 maybe 2 years at max. And in that period, everything has just changed. Now people want to be able to talk to everybody everywhere. So if they want to talk on WhatsApp, you should be available on WhatsApp. If they want to email you, you should be available on email. What do you think are the major channels that people should be available on, and how can a company be available on and make use of all these channels? And how does MyOperator get people started over there, of course?
Right. Just I've shared my screen again. Is that visible? Let me know if it is visible. Visible, right?
It still says Rimjhim has started sharing screen. So you might want to do it again.
Okay. But it says, all right, your screen sharing is paused. Is there any change on the admin side or something?
So we can please look into it.
Yes, Rimjhim. You will have to stop the screen and will have to share the screen again.
All right.
I think this is the beauty of tech, that you always, every single webinar that I do, I somehow get a chance to put this forward. This is the beauty of tech. It cannot replace human interactions. And I think this is something that Rimjhim, you will definitely cover. I feel there is some problem with the screen sharing from your end.
I'll just speak.
So we can let it be.
Yeah, all right. Okay. So, again, standing in 2023, it's kind of, we are basically in the middle of this channel explosion. And, I really not want to be and I'm saying this on record, I not want to be a customer service agent standing in 2023. It's really difficult. And, no matter how efficient you are, no matter how good you are, no matter how great your relationship skills are, you are basically inundated. Your customers can reach you on phone, they can WhatsApp you. Well, SMS is usually a one-way channel. It's usually for outbound communication, but they can email you. They can go and rant about you on social media. Suraj was just talking about Instagram and Twitter. They can, of course, be walking into your stores. They can be chatting with you. They can be going to the partner sites. So if we and Freshworks are working as partners, they could be going to Freshworks and saying that, hey, this is broken on MyOperator, or vice versa. And, you as a company are you feel compelled to deploy all of this, to be present in all sites, right? They could be writing about you on some anonymous blogs. You can also have some company like Domino's. Domino's has a good fish. I've never used it, but, there's also, I don't think it's available in India. Probably they've made it available for US, but they also take orders on, and also, respond to customer inquiries on their Facebook bot. They have a chatbot deployed on Facebook. So, imagine this, and this, I've probably not touched all the channels. There are several places, or they can go and rant about it in review sites also. And this is all part of your customer support and customer relationship, right? So in 2023, kind of having a unified view of a customer, what Suraj was talking about, what fresh companies like Freshworks solves with the help desk system, or where unification like a MyOperator and Freshworks comes, so that your communication and your help desks are talking to each other. So you can kind of keep everything in one place, becomes so important. So we work with various partners. There's one company that we work with. I wish that Melton had attended this, or Samir had attended this. They're the founders of this company called Connect Insights. They bring all the social media insights in one place. Now we have teamed up with them to also bring WhatsApp and call insights in one place, so that your agents, your customer service managers have one view of the customer. It's really, and I empathize with anyone working in customer support in 2023, because it's literally a communication nightmare that you're sitting on top of, and your customers are usually ahead in adoption of the tech curve. It's easier to adopt a technology as a consumer than as a business any day. Generative AI comes, your customers have already probably gone to a chat GPT and they're typing about you before you as a business can respond and come up with a solution. So you always see that your customers are one step ahead of you. So it really takes a very agile business, and it takes your right selection of your SaaS tools to be making sure that you're always on top of your customer service game. In terms of which channels should you be on, you have to be on all channels. There's no choice. The choice has been taken away from you. Once you've decided to work in customer service, once you've decided to operate in 2023. The choice is not there. You have to be everywhere. You have to be constantly listening, and it's just that your monitoring, your listening tools, your help desk systems have to work together very smartly, so that you're able to keep on top of these various communications being thrown your way, and still managing to have one unified view of your customer. I think that's really important. What Suraj said, I really liked, and I also believe in this, that the worst thing to do to a customer is making him repeat his requests or repeat his problems. He's already irate. He's already looking for a solution. He goes to Twitter, you ask him a question. He calls you up, you ask the same question again. He goes to WhatsApp, you ask the question again. By the third interaction, he has already decided that he's going to churn. So that's the worst thing. So, that unified view and being consistent across channels, giving your agents the power of understanding that single view of the customer is really, really important. Now, what are the parts of this equation that we solve at MyOperator? I've said right at the beginning that we are a cloud communications platform. And, customer service is one of the main reasons that main problems that companies, mid-sized to large companies, comes to us with. So we solve the customer helpline part of it, and with a very robust call management system under it, so that it can, there are options like sticky agents. So, for example, if a customer is talking to one of our agents, he calls back and then gets transferred to another agent. Imagine his frustration. He has to repeat the entire problem again. On the other hand, if you have something like a sticky agent implemented, you ensure that he's talking to the same agent, so he doesn't have to repeat himself, trying to explain his problem again. There are various such features implemented to make sure that both the customers and the customer service agents' lives gets good. What we have also added is the entire WhatsApp and the chat layer on it, because again, in 23, I think WhatsApp I was reading the meta statistics. Meta is saying that around 85% of people have responded saying that they want their business presence to be present on WhatsApp, and they would want to interact with the business on WhatsApp. 85%, that's a huge number. That means most people. So, again, in 23, you cannot ignore WhatsApp. So we have added WhatsApp, and we can SMS, and various, all the possible call channels, and brought it into built it up into a unified communication system. What we have also done is we have integrated with CRM and help desk systems. Freshworks is one of our key partners. There are other partners like Zoho, Lead Squared, for example, so that it's not just a communication part of it. We're also integrating with a CRM system or a help desk system to give a customer that one view.
Right.
So, that's really it, and
Yeah, so,
if you are a customer
majorly when
service
we
agent,
say-
all the best.
Yeah, if you are in customer success or support these days, you definitely need a very big all the best from every side. You need all the luck to handle all of that. I'm pretty sure means, and I'm guilty of making life tough for people. I think most of us are. The moment we find any problem with anybody, we instantly go on Instagram, ping them over there, and find their email, send out an email, and also call them. If we have a call option, then nothing like it. Like human voice on the other side is one of the biggest pacifiers when you are having any customer support issue. So Suraj, on that front, I would like to understand, coming from Freshdesk point of view, or coming from a CRM point of view, you have been doing it for the last 2-3 years now at Freshworks. how do people now? Rimjhim has already mentioned you need to be present everywhere. So,
Yes.
how do people manage their presence everywhere with a solution like Freshworks? From Freshworks, we have multiple options. So, with a solution like Freshdesk, and secondly, what all features in Freshdesk can assist people to get started with this customer support journey?
Sure, Sanat. So yeah, so very rightly said by Rimjhim that we need to be present, or a customer support team needs to be present omni-channel. Every channel has to be supported. Otherwise, you will actually fall behind in the game the industry is playing nowadays. Because if you are not on even one social media channel, or you're not supporting it, and there is something written about you that you don't even know, or you respond even a minute or 5 minutes late to a post, we see how viral that goes and how quickly things spiral out of control. So obviously, yes, the omni-channel presence of a company is really important. And we also need to understand that call volumes or support volumes for agents have gone up tremendously as to what compared it was prior to COVID. So even during COVID, what we saw is, support teams were normally not used to a work from home environment as such. It was the normal process of coming to an office and maybe handling calls or handling WhatsApp or comments from an office physical space. So those challenges which cropped up over 2-3 years, and again, the hybrid mode, which still continues because employees do not always want to come to office. And if they've been handling it over a period of 2 years really well, is because tools such as Freshworks and MyOperator, who empower those agents and give them the right features needed to support. Collaboration is an important feature in customer support. So maybe you want to, if you're in office, for an example, you can just walk up to another person and ask a query if you do have a query. But in a work from home environment, you really cannot do that. You may ping somebody on a maybe Slack, or go on a huddle or something and wait for a person to respond, which actually breaches SLA. So I'll talk about a couple of features. Do let me know if my screen comes up, or is my screen coming up? Is it visible?
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's
Great. So the first thing, as I was talking about, so which is the rich channel experience, which Rimjhim also said, across different channels. Customers should also be empowered to resolve those simple queries. That is the L1 queries that we say. Whenever you start deflecting these queries, is effectively you reducing the load on your agents. So I'll take a very interesting example also to talk about this. So PhonePe is one of our, again, large customers here. So when they reached out to us during COVID, what happened is UPI was becoming a thing and everybody was not using credit cards really. Volumes of support for PhonePe was really going up. It was doubling almost 2 to 3 months. You cannot add customer support agents at that speed. Or even if you do in a work from home environment, you cannot train them at that speed. Nobody is available. All the agents were really focused to just adhere to the SLAs and somehow manage stuff in a work from home environment. So that is where Freshdesk came into picture, wherein we asked them to enable self-service on their mobile app of PhonePe, so that there are solution documents. So most common queries in PhonePe, even we use it, is maybe I've scanned a QR and the money has got deducted. It has not really transferred to the other vendor's account. Or maybe if I've got locked out of my application, how do I solve for that? Simple things like that. So why don't you all have solution articles or even chatbots which can take care of end-to-end queries on that front? And post which you will be able as agents to handle the more complex queries which actually need human interaction and multiple teams working on it. So PhonePe started working with that, and decision by decision, just to give a dynamic number, 850 plus decisions are automated. That's a lot of load taken off the agents. So interesting thing, what we saw there is they did not have to actually add one single agent when they went live on Freshdesk. Although the volumes kept growing, is because of self-service enablement for customers and a deflection which came with it. So from an agent side, now we need to understand that it's a very mundane task, and day in and day out, you are trying to answer routine queries. You just respond to one email or take one call and another one lands, and maybe there are 3-4 on the waiting as well. So that mundane task also takes a toll on the agent. So if you see on my screen, a single pane for the agent is what I was talking about. So for just for an example, maybe the Shopify details from an e-commerce perspective, if you're supporting a customer who's made a purchase and the purchase has not reached on time, or maybe a customer has canceled an order and the reverse pickup has not been scheduled. If these type of details, rather than toggling between screens and spending time to find that data while putting customers on long hold or wait, if that can be presented on a single pane, and if you see multiple channels, so if the customer has reached out from Facebook, Instagram, a phone call has come in, an email has been dropped, you have everything in front of you. You actually know why the customer has reached out so that you can serve them better. So let me talk about some of the features from different personas, I would say. So quickly, to talk from a customer point, we have already spoken on most of the points. That self-service, again, self-service does get enabled in the form of solution articles which a bot can give, or there is self-service portals which are there. But majorly those solution articles get outdated. So what you want to see may not be there, may not be really solved from there. So again, you try to even do a keyword search, and a simple thing like that may not work. Personalized support is, yes, at times available, at times not at all available. So some common problems like this. Ticket update is something which I talk to a lot of customers, is a problem that they have seen. Regular ticket updates to be sent proactively to a customer actually keeps them pacified that, okay, somebody is working on my problem and they have not just forgotten about it. So how does Freshdesk come in here and help you? So if the knowledge base articles, as I was telling you, so every knowledge base article here can actually give you the option to like or dislike and give a feedback if it is not updated, which can be tracked as a separate metric behind, where the managers can actually see and update those articles based on the percentage of whatever CSATs are coming in there. Similarly, proactive ticket updates on every action being taken. If there are multiple teams working on it, or you as a frontline agent are actually waiting for resolution of a ticket from maybe a pricing team to update you, or from a legal team, or if it is a government entity, when I would speak to governments here, I'll take example of government of Karnataka or government Odisha, when I talk to them, even the police department. So what they say is, see, we have forwarded this query to another department, and we all understand in government things move slow. It's not always that they don't want to help citizens out, but it's just that inter-department communication, there is no, I would say, proper SLAs defined. So there is binding SLA, so that there is quite a delay in between departments to get replies. So that single pane, when they get all officers on Freshdesk from a citizen perspective, if I talk, so that they are also enforced within those SLAs to respond to citizens, or even for a private business, the different teams, be it a pricing or a legal, respond to it, and regular updates are sent to the customers on email, on WhatsApp, or any other channel. Now, coming from an agent perspective, so common things, what I have seen, or problems, what I have actually noticed is there's not a lot of automation in place. So there are customers we talk to who are using email to respond to customers, and that's the only channel that they are using, or there is a mobile phone where they are handling phone calls. So even when they try to come onto a platform, they do not actually know how to use that or adopt to it fast. Adoptability is a very big problem, because see, the software can be easy to use, but again, because you are so siloed as an agent to handle only one form of communication, you are not really adept to immediately adopt to a software. And if it is not, the UI is also complex, as I told you, that is another problem that agents face. So that also leads to a high churn rate, because in this industry, customer support agents, there's a lot of churn we have seen, and a big problem which corporates come to us, that how do we solve for this as well. Apart from that, there's a lot of manual execution that happens. So if tickets, suppose somebody goes on leave as an agent, so if the system has an automation in place which understands and routes bulk tickets to somebody else based on SLA, an SLA approaching, or remind the agents that work on priority on these tickets and then focus on the others, something like this helps them to prioritize their day-to-day activities. This helps agents to keep their work under control, and they do not get bogged down or overloaded due to a lot of tasks coming in. And lastly, from the persona of, maybe I would say, give me a minute, from a CX manager standpoint. So common problems here, what we see is they are more concerned as to what the overall metrics is, how better can they deploy the agents or resources so that queries are being handled. Also, apart from that, there is a lot of unregulated practices that come in. So because there has to be, now suppose I'll take pharma for an example. In there, if there is a customer support, there are legal regulations. Maybe customers are not very happy to have their data on cloud. So Freshdesk actually has the certifications needed so that even government data now is on cloud. So there are government projects I also work with as a solution engineer. Data remains very secure. There are security policies from AWS and from Freshworks as well. And the data center is again based out of India. There are audit logs. So as a manager, if there is something that goes really wrong, you would get that log as to who actually made a mistake and how to rectify it faster, and have that case study ready as to tell other agents, this is not what you should be doing, and support them better. And a lot of data comes in from every source when you are into customer service. So analytics is another important module or feature which comes in here so that you get those insights. Now, just for an example, there was an e-commerce customer. So based on the ticket data which they implemented Freshdesk, they were actually able to narrow down and see why so many refund or cancellation orders are coming for this type of fruit or vegetables from particular pin codes. And there is an underlying problem with the vendor supplying these products maybe. So these type of insights can help you to better service your customers or get those deep insights. Apart from that, sandbox is another important feature because we understand there are always there are new features being released by Freshworks, which can better help agents and better help your customers. So for an example, we have also tied up with ChatGPT and AI features have been brought in, wherein maybe if you are transferring an entire chat history to another agent, so that agent again has to read the entire context of maybe 10 emails or an entire bot conversation of 100 lines. But ChatGPT can just summarize it with one click for the agent in 4 or 5 lines. You read that and you better support your customers. So these type of features, when they get pushed in from the backend, you need to test those configurations in a sandbox before you deploy them in an active environment. And it should not hamper the live environment in any way. So yeah, broad, these are a couple of features of Freshworks I would focus on, Sana, to... Yeah.
No, this is great, I think, and I think it's about time that we move on from these visual representations and actually show people what do MyOperator and Freshdesk have to offer to their consumers. So let's get ahead and do the demo, Suraj, now.
Yeah, sure.
For the audience, guys, we are now moving on towards the demo of the integrated solution of Freshdesk and MyOperator. Feel free to drop in any questions you have about any feature, anything that you see on the screen. So just mention it down in the Q&A section so that we can pick it up later and answer those questions for you.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, Suraj.
So I will take simple use cases of how MyOperator and Freshdesk integration can help you to better service customers for your business. So what I'm showing you now is the MyOperator dashboard here. So it's really simple to just log into MyOperator, get a number which you see here, which will be your number for maybe outbound or incoming calls as well. And you can just go and come to the manage settings side of things and set up or design a simple call flow. So that's what I have done here as well. I've set up a simple IVR to show how it would work or how it would so let me do one thing. I will make a call. I understand it will be from my mobile. I'll try to put it on speaker so that y'all can just listen in to show you how the integration post this call ends actually works between the two companies. So
do you want me to do it, Suraj, for you? Because your number probably could be mapped behind this.
No, I'll just let me know if you can hear this out.
We are happy to assist you.
Or is it really low?
From the below
It is a little low.
I understand. Yeah.
Press 1 for sales support.
So basically, this is an IVR which I have set up and 2 to 3 departments. So what I'm doing here is I've made an incoming as a customer, I've made a call to customer support. So you can go to a support portal and you will be able to see that there is a number provided by your business which they can reach out. The customers can reach out, and an agent. So I'll just cut the call here. So suppose I made a call, which I'll come to the logs to show. Give me a minute. So you will see at this moment, what I have done is, as a customer, maybe Ankit has reached out to Acme Support, which is a retail chain. And the call can go on an IVR to exactly at the backend have a team which can take care of the type of query. So if suppose Ankit has made a purchase and needs a refund, Ankit has basically cancelled an order and wants to connect with the refund team here, or maybe a reverse pickup team here. Or maybe Ankit wanted to make a purchase of a shoe or some other product, but a particular size is not available. So another customer support team at the backend, which can actually give that context quickly to Ankit. So that mapping happens and the call gets received. And once that is done, a conversation between the agent and Ankit would happen. Post which, what will happen? A ticket would get created here in Freshdesk. So what you see here is, once I had a conversation as an agent with Ankit, a ticket quickly has come in based on the team of the IVR that I selected. So I selected a one for customer support. So you see there's a sales support, there's escalations, there can be service support. So very easy to set up an IVR flow on MyOperator, and whichever flow the customer selects, that heading also comes in as a ticket. You can just hover above it and you will see that there was an incoming call which happened, lasted for these many seconds, and you would also have a recording which you can listen to as an agent at a later point. Because it can happen that maybe say Ankit can drop an email and you have no context what conversation Suraj had yesterday with Ankit, and maybe today Sanad is an agent handling that query. So the recording is available right here. Now on the right hand side, what you see is there is a priority and the status assigned, and automatically I have not done anything. Based on the automation rules one time set, the team and the group, the agent who has to take care of it, this automated assignment has taken place. Quickly to go inside here. So you will see that this entire recording comes in as a hyperlink so that another agent can also have the context. And if you want to quickly send it to the customer also that, hey, this is the conversation we had, also sending you this recording, and this is what we are working on and how we can help you. So quickly, this recording also can be sent across. Now, just to give you a context as to how the different channels can come together on one pane for an agent. So suppose I take the example of Ankit here again. So when I come to the customer contact page of Ankit, what I see is whatever calls or support calls or escalation calls have come in from this customer over a period of time, the entire timeline is visible here. So maybe Ankit would have dropped me an email for an order refund as I was talking. And he had also called support because did not receive a reply maybe within 6 hours that he was supposed to. So what are the different tickets? If the customer is really irated, are there certain notes that another agent has added? This is for a case I'm talking wherein there is a rotational shift and maybe another agent comes up and escalated tickets are transferred. But if it is a sticky agent and one agent takes care of the query end to end, then maybe the context would still matter because you do not remember out of hundreds of tickets who is Ankit and what exactly was Ankit's issue as such. Right hand side, all the details of maybe the phone numbers or what time zone Ankit is in, what is Ankit's Facebook ID if he has reached out through a Facebook on a Facebook page through a handle or Instagram. So all those details would be available so that next time when they reach out, you would have that context. Now, just for an example, if I say that Ankit has now also replied to me through an email that support is needed. So how Freshdesk helps you here is it empowers the agents to not always type out an entire message because that takes a lot of time and every agent has their own unique style of typing. So quickly, maybe the agent can just come to reply. And the AI features, as I was talking about, so these are the AI features. So basically, when you have a generate email option also, you can give prompts and GPT can actually generate an entire email on the go for you as an agent. Enhance the tones. Now, suppose if you see that Ankit is really a Gen Z guy who's talking in a different lingo, or you have a B2B business and there are customers reaching out in a more professional context to you. So you can just click on casual or friendly or professional. And if you've typed out an email, GPT would go ahead and have that email structured in that format, or you can rephrase it as well. So talking on the typing side of things, what I was saying, so there is something known as canned response. So suppose this is a refund related query and I already have a pre-populated response there. So all I would do is just one click. So what happens is customer name, agent name, order number, certain other details. These are dynamic. System would pick it up. One click and the agent would be able to just reply back to Ankit. If more context was needed as to what conversation is needed, you as an agent, Suraj would always be available to go and just listen to the recording. Now, suppose even through the email or the recording, if there is not much context as another agent, I'm not able to understand. So what I can do is I can simply come here and dial back to Ankit to talk to them. So if you see, I have not gone on my operator panel as such, but you see just one click on the phone number here. And you see here, the call has been now connecting to Ankit. So it is this seamless integration that helps you to stay on the Freshdesk page and make a call to any customer and get that context. So again, this is my phone ringing here again. So I'll just close that for now. So yeah, Sanat, so this is what I wanted to show from an outbounding and incoming call as to how the seamless integration between these tools would work.
This is awesome. This is awesome. I think this is a very neat demo and gives complete context understanding about the integrated solution, starting from the first call that lands for any customer on the business's support system, and then the entire journey of how they handle it, various modes, the notes. I think it's a complete thing. A lot of people have mentioned in the chat that there is a very big problem that people do not have prior context, and they totally do not know what conversation has happened before this particular call. So what you showed on screen right now actually solves that problem pretty easily. So before we hop on forward to the Q&A section, one last question from both of you, Rimjhim and Suraj, that in terms of supporting businesses, we have done this webinar and now people know about the solution. Starting with you, Rimjhim, what does MyOperator have to offer to get people started with MyOperator? And then we'll go to Suraj asking about Freshdesk.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? What does MyOperator offer?
Yeah, I mean, like, what do we have any initial offers for the people who are here in the audience, or how can people get started with MyOperator if they want to go ahead and elevate their customer service experience?
Right. So, so as I explained that, so MyOperator essentially offers you your entire cloud communication platform. To get started, just go and, kind of go to myoperator.com/sign up. You can sign up for a free trial that gives you access to most of the features. And, of course, our technical team will be there to assist you. But of course, it's a very easy setup. Like even Suraj showed that, you can just go into the panel and a basic IVR can start working in as low as 30 seconds. You set it all up. Obviously, if you need more help on top of this to say configure it to a more complicated IVR system, add agents or any other such thing, our technical team will be there to help you out. So that is as simple as that. Between MyOperator and Freshdesk, it works to a very simple API integration. So once you have signed up on both the platforms, you have subscribed to our services, it's basically just an API key that will integrate. And it's basically, has under a minute kind of an integration. It's completely out of the box. So there's no effort from your side. All you need to do as a business user is subscribe to the two systems. In terms of offers, there will be a Freshdesk plus MyOperator integrated offer that we give you so that you can save more with credits from our side. The offer will be communicated to all the webinar attendees. We definitely want all of you to use the system. You've seen some of the uses, right? We're solving the main problem of software bloat for you. So you having to deal with various systems when you're trying to handle your calls on one place, trying to handle your ticketing in one place. We're solving that bloat for you and reducing your turnaround time, reducing the amount of load that your customer service agents have to take every day. They're already loaded. We're just giving them a step. We're putting them a step ahead by simplifying the entire process for them. As I said, in terms of the offers, just kind of reach back to us, of course, or we'll also reach out to you with the exact offer that we'll have, which can help you get started. From MyOperator side, there's already a 20% discount that is running for this month. Well, it's 15th August, and we want everyone, not just the big businesses, but everyone, be it a small business or a mid-sized business, to have the azadi to make to make your business as communicable as possible. So keeping 15th August in mind, our theme, in fact, we have been talking about that, most of India's businesses, small businesses, large businesses dial on MyOperator. We wanted to make this, we wanted to kind of sweeten this Freedom Month with an offer. I'm sure Freshworks will also have their own offers. So rather than talking about, rather than giving you the exact offer here, just reach out to us and we'll tell you, what we can do for you. We'll customize the deal for you. That's not a big deal.
Of course. Suraj, how about like from the other end of the equation? So one way is to just sign on to MyOperator, get connected, take the service, and then hop on to Freshdesk. Is there anything different that we have to do for Freshdesk?
No, so for Freshdesk also, we are very transparent. There is a link you can go and sign up 21 days of free trial across the plans. So we also believe that small businesses, I saw a question also, it is there, how cost effective it is for small businesses. So we also believe that, and there are different plans with features that you can start with. So what I also do when I normally talk to customers is, you start small, take the important features which are absolutely necessary for your business. And as your business scales, you need more features, you can always go ahead and upgrade it. So 21 days of free trial is across the plan. You can even try out the enterprise plan, which is there. We are very transparent in terms of pricing. Everything is listed on the website. But again, as Rimjhim said, there will be offers and there will be better curated offers in place from both MyOperator and Freshworks as a package. So yeah, based on the requirements and the features, we can work on those deals accordingly.
Yeah, that sounds great. So thanks guys. Let's move on to the Q&A section now. Dhruvi, can you please pull up the last poll to just get an understanding of how well people understood what all we have discussed so far. And meanwhile, let's start taking questions from the Q&A box first. So Rimjhim, I'll go with you first. That how small companies with limited resources should streamline their customer support.
Right, it's interesting. It's the second time in less than a week that I'm asked this question as part of a webinar with another partner last week, and exactly this question is asked. I think small businesses, the best side, obviously you will have smaller teams, and with so many customers obviously as your business grows, there will be more and more customers reaching out to you. Scaling up people, scaling up humans, hiring humans is always not just costly, it also takes time. I'm all for employment, all for hiring more people, but you also need to make use of automation. So automation is a best friend and it's a better friend for you. We often make this, kind of mistake that, automation to large business ke liye, small business kya karenge automation leke. No, I believe it's the other way around. Smaller businesses need automation probably more than large businesses because you have limited access to resources, you have limited access to hiring. Your teams are probably much smaller than say what an Amazon's team or a Flipkart's team will be. So smart automation. So, I think it's so things like IVR bot can really work for you. So the common question that people ask, how to log into the system, just put it into a bot and, make sure that the bot is answering on your behalf, or putting this question into a WhatsApp bot. WhatsApp, IVR, these are not very costly products again at the end of the day. So there is the starting cost for an IVR system with MyOperator, for example, is $12.50 per month. So, at $12.50 per month, you can set up your incoming calls, you can set up your WhatsApp bot, your IVR bots to answer your most common questions. Again, set up a WhatsApp bot to answer the most common questions. With the help of automation, augmenting your team, I think, then you are sorted.
Correct. Suraj, what do you want to add to this? Can small businesses with limited resource do it?
Yeah, for sure. So we have seen small businesses where there is just one support agent who is running the business and handling customer queries as well, doing the implementations also. So it's really simple for MyOperator. I just tried to show you it's really easy to set up not only the IVR there, but also the workflow automations here. There are solution articles available. 24/7 free support is available for every customer of Freshworks. Be it one agent or be it 1,000 agents, you can reach out through email or phone and support would be provided. And any implementation that you are getting stuck on, the support team would hop on a quick call to show you how to better do that. New features coming out for small businesses also. We regularly send those updates as to how we are pushing these new features across, and you can start using them maybe in beta, or you can just, if it is free on the plan, this is how it will be better. Now, I understand on the poll also certain people have said that they need more info to understand, and totally agree, because use cases may be different and it may take some time to give a full-fledged in-depth demo of how these two platforms seamlessly integrate to help solve better customer support for your business. So we can do that on a case-by-case basis again.
Yes.
And yeah, Sana, that's all I
So
have.
let's take the next question from Tirith Raj, where he's asking what trends are currently shaping the future of customer support and engagement. Like, coming from the horse's mouth, I think people who are doing customer engagement for as long as I know you guys. So yeah, Suraj, please go on.
Yeah, so see the current trends, as we all know, once Chat GPT has come in, a lot of AI has been trending in the market across. And we at Freshworks were actually working with GPT for the last 5 years. There were certain features already out, such as an auto email responder, wherein an email came in into Freshdesk and the system understood the context and gave a solution article immediately back, even before an agent went ahead and opened the email. So that an L1 query maybe can be resolved quickly, as I was saying, deflection. So certain features were already out, but because now it has become a lot of a thing in the market, so we have again released a lot of co-pilot features, which I would say, which not only helps you to better develop custom apps to solve for your customers, but have different rephraser or summarizers, as I was showing. So AI is one trend. The next trend is digital channels, which are a thing now. So in India, the most important channel we are seeing is WhatsApp. But again, phone calls and email are what businesses use, and most of our customers also use. Even from a citizen standpoint, if I talk, when I speak to governments, they say that most of the citizens want to drop an email and have that entire conversation with them if they want to use it against the government also. So yeah, that's something they say as well. So how do we automate that? So as I was saying, email responders through AI, based on how quickly can we do that? Bringing down the SLAs as much as we can and giving that hyper-personalized support across channels are some of the trends we are seeing in the market as of now.
All right, Rimjhim, up to you. Like you two are, I think MyOperator has pivoted a lot in terms of CX. WhatsApp being introduced in the last couple of years, and then the VoIP, everything has been doing. So go on and let us know what is shaping all of this.
Yeah, I think three trends really. One is omni-channel, that and that's, of course, it's not, I'll not say it's a new trend, but it's kind of this omni part of your omni-channel is going on bloating. So it's an ever evolving trend, and you have to stay on top of it. Second is mobile first. Again, not a new trend, but I think the amount, the density on mobile is increasing day by day, especially with Web3 coming, and it's becoming a metaverse altogether. It's the propensity of people being on mobile, of interacting with you through augmented reality or various other devices is kind of going up. And third would be AI, what Suraj is already talking about. AI has been in vogue for some time, but with generative AI coming and putting the tool and the power right in the hands of people, is again kind of opened up an entire Pandora box. So on one hand, it's your best friend, because using generative AI, and we are working on it on both HEO and MyOperator on generating smart transcripts, on helping you respond in real time, say through a voice bot or through a WhatsApp bot, to conversations, in even bridging multilingual problems, right? And India is a country with many languages. So can AI sit on top of that to enable a Bengali and a Tamil, for example, to have a meaningful conversation?
Yeah.
So that is one approach, one part of it. On the nightmare part of it, and I think this is another nightmare, but slightly different from a customer support channel, but with AI, the level of fake content out there has kind of exploded. So you also have to keep constantly on top of that, so that your brand reputation is not ruined. And that also, at the end of the day, is another challenge that you're dealing with. Customers are being exposed to those probably potentially fake articles about you every day. So that means you are probably sitting on top of a AI generated time bomb. So while there are good parts of all of these technologies, be it omnichannel, be it mobile, be it AI, you also have to be constantly running to stay ahead of the curve, stay ahead of your customers, and stay ahead of your competitors. Not an easy task, but maybe with integration, maybe with companies like us, we can help you solve at least some of those challenges, if not all.
Sounds about right. So I guess that answers Tirith's question. How about Nirmala asking the cost to implement it for an SME or a startup? So give us a ballpark figure, both of you. What is the cost to implement MyOperator and Freshdesk as an integrated solution? Rimjhim, please.
Right. So for us, any CRM implementation comes as part of a user-based plan, which starts at 1250 per user per month. But again, this is a ballpark figure, because based on your requirements, and I'm assuming for an SMB, this is what roughly the figure will be. But based on requirements, if you have more complicated requirements on top of this, say or say you have outbound. So this 1250 per user per month is for an incoming channel. If you also need outbound channel, you have you want to add WhatsApp to it, the cost might vary. But mota, this is where you start at 1250, and this should be taking care of most of the SME, SME requirements, so to speak of.
Sounds about right. How about you, Suraj? Like, where do customers look at?
From an implementation standpoint, Sanat, so as I was telling you, there are certain customers we have seen, they go ahead and even try to implement Freshdesk on their own, and they are able to do it. But based on, again, the different plans, features, and what is the complexity of the use cases, are there integrations needed, are there custom apps needed, it would vary. Now, plans again start from $9.99. As simple as that. You can just buy a $9.99 plan per agent per month and start using Freshdesk. And based on which there are different plans of Pro and Enterprise as and when it is needed.
But somewhere to starting point. So Nirmala, Nirmal, somewhere starting point for MyOperator plus Freshdesk sits close to say 2.2 K per month per user. So that's how it is. Of course, there will be different use cases and different offers that you could get again as a part of this cohort. Over to Garima now. What are some ways to reduce customer response times and improve resolution times? Suraj, please go ahead on this one.
So ways to reduce customer response time, again, as we've spoken, that will happen if as an agent, you have the right tools to support you. You do not have a lot of tools which you have to go through. So all that context is in one place, easily available at your fingertips. Another way is the automation itself. So suppose if a ticket comes in or a call comes in and is rightly routed to the appropriate agent to take care of it, that saves a lot of response time there. And the first response time, as we say, from a resolution time standpoint, again, it depends as to what is the query coming in, how many teams are involved. If there are multiple teams, how do you have that SLAs across teams enforced on a ticket, so that maybe one team has replied on time, but maybe another team has not, and the entire SLA breaches. So something as simple as a parent-child ticketing, wherein you have one single ticket from the customer broken down into 4 or 5 child tickets assigned to different teams with shared ownership between these teams, with SLAs binding on them, can help you to improve resolution time. And agent empowerment from a standpoint of, as I was showing, the canned response, wherein you do not have to type in long paragraphs again and again. So something like a scenario automation, if there is a simple scenario repeatedly coming in, so every time you taking 4 or 5 steps as an agent to solve that similar ticket, what if you have an automation, one click, and all of that 4 or 5 steps get taken? Can be that ticket gets assigned to the appropriate team, the priority gets raised, you send an email automatically to the customer with the response. These 4 or 5 steps, if you automate it, that will help you to improve resolution times also.
Sounds about right. And while you are at it, do answer Nirmal's question, and then we'll move to Rimjhim and wind this up. What is the approx setup time for Freshdesk? I think that's a big question for SMEs and SMBs.
Setup time, if I tell you, can vary from a couple of days if there are just simple use cases of maybe 1 or 2 emails and 1 phone call which has to be integrated and 1 number, and not much automation. If there is just 1 or 2 agents, so you really do not need to set up automations. It will automatically be routed by the system in a circular fashion. So you can set it up in a couple of days. 2, if there are certain, as I said, integrations and custom applications needed, in a couple of weeks, you should be up and running.
Sounds about right. Now, Rimjhim, let's close this conversation with your reply to how to reduce customer response times and improve resolution times. And then we'll talk about the setup time, of course.
Right. So I think customer response, to reduce the customer response time, I think this knowledge base is very important, So when I say knowledge base, it's that what kind of a knowledge base does your customer support people have access to? How FAQs have you been able to turn your most common questions into? What is the level of automation that you have been able to add to it? So if your first level of questions are being handled by, say, an automated voice bot or an automated WhatsApp bot, your L1 queries are anyway been taken care of. That's like, close to zero. That's the minimum kind of response time that you can get. Second case is, where we talked about sticky agents, for example. So if the best, and in fact, that also decreases resolution time. So if a customer is connecting back, you should be connecting him back to the same agent rather than kind of ping-ponging him across various agents. That decreases both the response time and that also decreases the resolution time because someone who's speaking to him already has the context. Context can also be there in the system if you are using things like recording and automated transcripts and auto-generated summaries, which generative AI has made a lot easier. So your agents, the time the agent is talking to a customer, obviously is talking to hundreds of customers maybe in a day. He might not remember all the conversations. But if you have automated recording and then transcripts and smart summaries on top of it, it can surely reduce both your response as well as your resolution time. Then there's some other automations. For example, Sanjana asked here if you can automate outbound calling. So,
Right.
when your customers, you miss calls from your customers, right? And then you have to ring them back. But if you're ringing them back by one, it's a very, very, very simple automation, but it solves a lot of problems. You're ringing them one by one. You don't know when they're going to be connected. Rather have an automated dialer in place and you connect the calls where your customers are available. So simple automations like this, smart use of AI, smart training of your customer service agents, and having a knowledge base with as many FAQs and a proper search on top of it, I think you're sorted. Of course, softwares like Freshworks or MyOperator, where we talked about the communication automation, takes care of most of these kind of solution that I'm talking about. So for what you have to do as a business owner, you have to prioritize software that is giving you these features. Because obviously you're not going to build all these features in-house yourself. That's not your job. You are doing what you are doing already best. You're probably selling the products that you're making. It's our job to reduce the resolution time and reduce the response time for you. So you basically come to the right software and your problems are taken care of. The second part of your
So let's wind this up with the last thing that people ask, that what is the setup time, which is a big question for people. So what is the setup time with MyOperator?
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
All right. Okay. Let me before you say that, and I'm exaggerating, let me can explain this to you. In fact, Suraj showed it to you. If you have to set up a basic idea, that can be set up in as low as 30 seconds.
Okay.
If you need to set up a little something more complicated, we usually, most of our customers are able to get a cloud system up and running within 2 days. I'll share an incident here. So I was out trekking in Shillong, and there was a disparate call from someone who was moving away from another service provider. And they apparently had issues, and they said, I need to be up and running by tomorrow. I was like, tomorrow? Seriously? And you are porting out? I said, no, if not tomorrow, the day after. We were actually able to port him out and port him into our system within that one day. He said, today is Saturday, by Monday, I have to be up and running on your system. And there I was with low connectivity in Shillong, and I connected our salespeople here, technical people here, and they got him up and running in 1 or 2 days. So we have tried to keep our system or software as simple as possible. So between 30 seconds and 2 days, you are up and running. The only thing where you get stuck up a little, well, not stuck up exactly, where you have to do outside our system, where you do not have control, is in the realm of the government. You have to get a KYC done. When you're getting a number, regulations mandate that your KYC has to be done. That is why you cannot be up and running while you can be up and running with your trial system in 30 seconds, you still need the 2 days to get your KYC and all done. If it's a more complicated system where, of course, an enterprise kind of a solution has to be built, that will be custom, right? That will depend on the complexity of your
That
system.
totally depends upon what people are asking for, right?
But we have APIs for most of the things, like, for a Freshworks integration, for example, it's an API-based integration, can happen in less than a minute. Likewise, we can also integrate with any system that you have, as long as you are supporting those, interoperable APIs. We will be up and running as soon as possible. So, and of course, if you're getting stuck at any place, our technical team will be able to assist you and get you up and running.
For sure. I think that 30-second things really got me going. I think it must have got other people also going. We can set it up in less than 30 seconds. which I think is true because for the demo of it, the demo account which can be activated per se in 30 seconds, as long as you can look for your Aadhaar card quickly. That's how you can put it. So yeah, that's it, Rimjhim and Suraj. Thank you so much for giving your time to this audience and this webinar today. And thanks to the audience for being here. We overshot by around 30 minutes, but it was really a good discussion to have you with you guys. Everybody in the audience, we'll be sharing the recording of this session with you over email in the next 24 to 48 hours. So stay tuned for it, and we'll give you those offers that Suraj and Rimjhim did mention about via emails. So definitely check your emails in the next couple of days. Thank you so much once again, guys. It was a very pleasurable evening to be with you. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Suraj. Learned so much from you today.
Thanks, Rimjhim. Same here. Thanks, Anand. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.